What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel and welcome to the end of the year lists. This one we're going to be doing the top 20 best movies of 2024. There were so many good films this year. I wanted to do more, but had to narrow it down to 20. These are the films that I could see myself watching more, even though there are going to be ones I'm going to mention in my honorable mentions that are ones that I have seen probably multiple times, but just did not quite make the list. But again, this is going to be personal preference. This is my list, not your list. So please be respectful. This is all my opinion and my list. So if you guys want to put your list in the comments, please do so. I'm willing to read your list. But anyways, let's go and get started with the list. Let's get going. But before we get started with the top 20, I have a list of honorable mentions. I narrowed it down to 12 movies. These movies that I thought were so good, but did not quite make the list. So let's get started. Your Monster, Superman, the Christopher Reeve story, Strange Darling, Cuckoo, The Beekeeper, The Bike Riders, Twisters, Boy Kills World, Inside Out 2, Doom Part 2, Transformers 1, and VHS Beyond. Now look, I know some of you guys are probably going to be very upset with some of these picks on my honorable mentions, but like I said, this is my list. So anyways, but also before we get started with that, I also want to point out my top 5 biggest surprises of 2024. So coming in at number 5 for biggest surprises of the year, I have Caddo Lake. This is a movie that I honestly had never even heard of until I saw it on Max, and I was like, And it's produced by M. Night Shyamalan. I was like, okay, cool, I'll check it out. And I loved it. It was really, really good. It's a nice little mystery, nice little thriller. So check it out if you haven't. Number 4 is Carry On. This is a movie that, like I said with Caddo Lake, never heard of it until I was looking through Netflix and I saw a couple of reviews for it and I was like, okay. I mean, I love Taron Egerton. I love Jason Bateman. Let's give this a shot. And it surprised me how good it was. So there's that. Number 3, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. The first one I can ultimately watch as a guilty pleasure, but this one genuinely surprised me on actually how good it was. Like, I like this one a lot more than the first one, much to my surprise. Number 2, Never Let Go. I have to shout out Mike for this one. He got me to watch it, and thank you for that there, my friend. I absolutely love Never Let Go. Honestly, one of the most underappreciated films of the year. And coming in at number 1, the absolute biggest surprise of the entire year is The First Omen. Wow. I thought this one was going to be garbage, but it ended up being one of the best horror films of the year. No question about it. All right, enough of those. Let's get started with the list. Coming in at number 20, I have Lisa Frankenstein. Now, this was a film I saw the trailer for back in 2023, and I was like, that looks really interesting. I'm actually really interested in seeing that. When I got to go see it, I absolutely loved it. I love Catherine Newton and Cole Sprouse together in this film. I love the 80s aesthetic. It really brought me back to that time period. It's funny, it's romantic, it's dark, and it has some pretty interesting stuff that you would probably not see in a PG-13 movie. This one goes for like the hard PG-13 and like a soft R in some ways. But you know what? I'm all for it. Diablo Cody's script was great. And this was the directorial debut of Robin Williams' daughter, Zelda Williams. Give her more work. She deserves more after this one. Coming in at number 19 was one of the bigger hits this year, that being Deadpool and Wolverine. Who was not excited for this film? Who was not anticipating getting to see Deadpool and Wolverine on the screen together? It was great. The action is awesome and very bloody. The movie is very funny. It has a lot of really hilarious jokes that I really did not see coming. Some great cameos here. I don't know what else to say about this movie. Like, pretty much everything that has been said about this film, I can just say again. But you know what? Not going to. Gonna save some time on that. But if you guys have not seen Deadpool and Wolverine, what are you doing? Go watch it. It's on Disney+. Coming in at number 18, Smile 2. This one, I wasn't sure how you were going to do a sequel to Smile, which I still will profess is one of the scariest films I have ever seen personally. I didn't expect it to scare me as much as I did. Going into this sequel, this one had a lot of big shoes to fill because of the success of the first film. And might I say, this was a bit scarier than I was expecting. A bit scarier than the first film, actually. Naomi Scott was incredible. The scares are perfect. And the ending to this film is crazy. Crazy ending. Might be a bit too predictable for some if you guys have seen the first one. But I love the way that they ended it. I'm hoping that we can go on further with this. Hopefully we can get a third one. And also the music from Naomi Scott in this film was also really good as well. Can't forget to mention that. So, if you guys miss Smile 2, check it out. Coming in at number 17 is one of 4 A24 films that is going to be on my list. Can you tell I'm a sucker for A24? You should have figured by now. Number 17 is I Saw the TV Glow. Now, this at one point was one of my number ones for a while, but thinking about it, there are some things that do kind of bug me, mainly some of the narration and the way they kind of hammer the message. But other than those little nitpicks, I adore this film. I love the creepy and weird aesthetic to it, and it ends in a way where it's like it doesn't answer all your questions. Like, there's more questions that are spawning through your head, but I think that's honestly one of the things that makes a film like this so good. You ask a lot of questions, but they don't get answered in the end of it. The performances are all great. The cinematography is great. The visual flair is so good. And Justice Smith and Bridget Lindy Payne were fantastic in the film. And Jane Schoenbrunn, I cannot wait to see what they do next. Still need to see We're All Going to the World's Fair, but this one makes me want to watch it. Coming in at number 16 will probably end up on a lot of people's biggest surprises of the year list, but then for me, Speak No Evil. Now, to be fair, I still have not seen the original. But you know what? I still want to check out the original, but I have heard that it's more bleak than this one, so it kind of is straying me away from watching it. I still will watch it, but this version I thought was fantastic. I love James McAvoy in this role. The third act honestly took me for like a whole roller coaster ride that I was not expecting. The film is actually pretty funny in certain aspects too, but when it gets tension filled, you're really gripping the edge of your seat. And the thing I love most about this movie is that there's not much score to it. It's not like a typical Blumhouse film. So there's not like much score to it. There's not like much music when it comes to like a scare or anything like that. There's not really much scares to even really come by with this film. But this was a win for Blumhouse this year, despite having a horrendous year for Blumhouse. But you know what? They got to win with this one, and it's in my top 20. Coming in at number 15 is probably the scariest film I've seen this entire year, not being a horror movie. Civil War. Alex Garland, come on, man. Make some more movies, man, because this was amazing. I really like how they kind of told this story of this kind of dystopian future, like if a civil war was to happen, like in a modern time. I really love the way that they did that. I thought Kirsten Dunst and Kaylee Spaney were phenomenal in the film. Jesse Plemons ate up the scene that he was doing. My goodness. And the cinematography is gorgeous. It's a gut-wrenching film. Very cold-blooded, which is what you should expect from a movie like this. And I've only watched it once in theaters, but I really want to watch it again since I have the 4K. And I can't say anything else great about this film that I haven't said already. I love this movie. Coming in at number 14, you guys will probably expect this one to be higher, but there are other ones I enjoyed more. Number 14 is Wicked. Yeah, I really, really love this movie. As someone who has seen the Broadway version back in New York, when I was visiting New York a couple years ago, I love the Broadway version. And when I saw that they were making a movie, I was like, awesome. Can't wait to see what they got. And I love this. I'm sad it's only a part 1. That's the reason why it's lower on the list than you guys would probably expect. I want to see what they got with part 2 before I can fully say that it's a masterpiece, personally speaking. But hey, it's still on the list. I loved it. Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande were fantastic. The production was great. The music was great. Can't say enough good things about Wicked. Coming in at number 13, The Juice is Loose. Beetlejuice. Going back into the world of Beetlejuice was just something I didn't think I would love as much as I did. I loved getting to see Michael Keaton again as Beetlejuice. Love seeing Winona Ryder again as Lydia Dietz. And also getting to see Catherine O'Hara back in the mix. I love her in this film as well. She's really funny. Jenna Ortega was great as Lydia's daughter. I love the look of the afterlife, and I saw this one in theaters 3 times, and there were certain scenes in this film where I just could not contain my laughter. It's hilarious. It's got some good dramatic beats, which I was not expecting for this movie. Might be a bit too much going on, but you know what? This is one of those times where there's so much going on in a movie like this where it doesn't really tend to bother me. Like, because I feel like with how everything wraps up with this movie, I kind of feel like it has a served purpose for everything that goes on. But that's just me. But Beetlejuice, you get a spot on the list. Coming in at number 12, live from New York, it's Saturday Night. Yeah, getting to see the first 90 minutes on screen of what happened behind the scenes of before the very first airing of Saturday Night Live was an experience. Sure, narratively speaking, not great, but you know what? This movie was made for the experience, to tell the story of what happened behind the scenes and how everything possible that could have went wrong behind the scenes actually did. And I think Jason Reitman did a great job capturing the era of 1975 and also capturing that era of Saturday Night Live. I thought the performances were all great. The aesthetic is great. Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, there's a lot of great things about this film. Like I said, the performances, the aesthetic, the look of the film. And also, this film is really funny. And I really thought that a lot of the actors that they got to portray the people that were a part of Saturday Night Live did a fantastic job. So if you're an SNL fan and you missed this one, don't miss it. Check it out. Coming in at number 11, I have Alien Romulus. Now, when I heard Fede Alvarez was going to make an Alien film, I could not be any more excited than I already was. Because I love Fede Alvarez. I love the Alien franchise. Minus 3, 4, and AVP 2. I enjoy most of those movies. And I thought the new things that they did with this film were fantastic. People are going to be divided with this film based on this film's third act. This is one of those films like where like the third act will make it or break it for you. This made it for me. As you can probably tell, it's on the list. The performances were great. The xenomorph was terrifying. The face huggers were even scarier than I thought they would be. Holy crap. Those things are... woof, man. It's very gory. It's pretty much anything you could ask for a Fede Alvarez movie, especially for an Alien movie. This one hit all the right notes. Coming in at number 10, no surprise to anyone, Sonic the Hedgehog 3. As a huge fan of the first 2 films, I could not wait to see what they were going to bring to the table with this one, especially bringing in Shadow. I thought Keanu Reeves was great. I love the action sequences. No boring human subplots either, much to my surprise. I love Jim Carrey as both Dr. Ivo and Gerald Robotnik. I thought they both did great. And yeah, I really am excited for Sonic the Hedgehog 4. Stay for those post-credits, you guys. It's still in theaters. Stay for the post-credits because I promise you, it's worth it. Coming in at number 9 is a film that I'm pretty sure my buddy Jacob Hubbard's going to be mad that it's this low on the list. But you know what? It's on here anyway. Abigail. Now... I was really looking forward to this film, but I still walked in with modest expectations, and I had a blast with it. The concept of a people kidnapping a little girl, and she turns out to be a ballerina vampire, is genius. It's gory, it's intense at times, it's hilarious. The cast of characters that they got were fantastic, especially Dan Stevens, who stole the entire show. Dan Stevens had a great year. No question about it. He had a great year. And with this one, it's another one to add to the cake. Radio silence. I'm excited to see what they do next, and I cannot wait for the Ready or Not sequel. Coming in at number 8 was actually my most anticipated film of the year, and I'm glad it paid off. Monkey Man. Dev Patel's directorial debut, and boy, what a debut it was. It's action-packed. It's got great emotional stakes to it. Dev Patel was fantastic in the film. Maybe a bit too much shaky cam for some people, but I did not mind the shaky cam whatsoever. It honestly kind of immersed me into the film even more. And that final act with all those fight sequences, that'll make you want to run laps around your house, I'll tell you that much. So, if you guys missed Monkey Man, definitely check it out. Just warning you, a lot of shaky cam, but If you don't get motion sickness, definitely give it a watch. Coming in at number 7, when's your birthday, little one? Longlegs. Did you guys think this was not going to be on my list? Come on. Come on now. Nicolas Cage has never been creepier than anything he's ever done. He really has never been creepier. Micah Monroe was fantastic in the film. There's a great twist involved. I love the mystery aspect of the film and how this film tends to go. I love Oz Perkins' direction of this film. There's really not much else great I can say about this film. It's creepy. It'll keep you on the edge of your seat. And my God, dude. Like I said, Nicolas Cage. Don't know what else to say. It's a nice little throwback to like serial killer films from the 1990s, like Silence of the Lambs or Seven. And I'm glad that Oz Perkins was able to make him film like this. I cannot wait to see his next film, The Monkey. Coming in at number 6 is Heretic. Yeah, who would have thought that Hugh Grant would make a great charismatic creep? Who would have thought? But I thought this film was fantastic. This is one of the smartest written horror films I have seen in quite some time. I think Scott Beck and Brian Woods really should be commemorated for this film. Hugh Grant was incredible in this film. Honestly, maybe even his best performance of his whole career. Sophie Thatcher and Chloe East as the two Mormon missionaries I thought were fantastic in the film. This film also has a really creepy third act that will keep you on the edge of your seat. And don't know what else I got to say about that one, man. Definitely check out Heretic if you guys missed it. Coming in at number 5. Got to get the special glasses out for this one, don't I? Because it's Terrifier 3. That's right. Because of how much I love Terrifier 2, did you guys not think this was going to be on my list? Come on now. Art the Clown is just as sadistic as ever. This movie is gory. Like freaking gory. Even gorier than the first one. And even it's a Christmas movie, so it manages to still be playful. But my goodness, dude. Some of these kills will make you vomit if you have weak of stomach. I'll just tell you that much. If it's not for the faint of heart or the weak of stomach, but for gorehounds like me, it's a damn good time. So if you guys missed Terrifier 3, please check it out. Coming in at number 4 is Robert Eggers' latest magnum opus, Nosferatu. Now, when I heard that he was making a Nosferatu film, I thought this could go either of two ways. Either it's going to be a fantastic new addition to the Nosferatu name, or it could go down to the dump. But I don't know. I still had faith in it because it's Robert Eggers. The guy does not miss, apparently, from what I know, because I've seen all the other films. He does not miss. And this is honestly my favorite film that he's done so far. Excellent performances. The aesthetic and the look of 1800s Germany I thought was fantastic. Lily Rose Depp is a star on the rise. I cannot wait to see what else she does. The rest of the performances were great. Bill Skarsgård looks freaking creepy in this film as Count Orlok. And yeah, this is honestly one of the most intense and most gripping films I have seen this entire year. And also one of the most beautiful looking, shockingly. Coming in at number 3 is, in my opinion, the most underrated film of the whole year. That is Y2K. Now look, call me biased all you want with this type of movie, but this is a film that I feel like is made for me. Even though I didn't grow up in the 90s, I feel like I belong in that era. And I think with what they were able to accomplish with this film, bringing the nostalgia factor, I thought was fantastic. I thought the performances were great. The idea of a robo-computer apocalypse, I thought was a genius for this film. And once the robot stuff starts to really kick in, this film becomes a total blast from start to finish. And my man Fred Durst, be in more movies, dude. Coming in at number 2 is, in my opinion, the best animated film of the year. That is The Wild Robot. DreamWorks' latest film, and boy, I don't know, dude. DreamWorks keeps making some bangers. Like, even though I did like Ruby Gillman Teenage Kraken, didn't love it. I love Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. DreamWorks just knows how to hit those emotional beats. They really do. The animation is absolutely stunning. The movie's funny. It's emotional. This film, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you cry easily at films, bring those tissues, because Oh man. I was crying like a little baby when I was watching this in the theater. I cannot lie, this film made me cry, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. I love this film, and I really implore all of you to see it. If you guys missed it in theaters, please check it out. I think it's on Peacock right now, if I'm not mistaken, but if you guys don't own it physically, go out and get it now. It's a great film. I implore all of you to watch it. Coming in at number 1. This one snuck in for me right at the end of the year. My number 1 favorite film of 2024 is Anora. Yeah, much to my surprise, a Sean Baker film made it to my number 1. Shocker. Look, I love the Florida Project. I did not like Red Rocket whatsoever. So, I was hesitant about this film. Hesitant. I was hesitant to say the least. Now, I love Mikey Madison. I loved her in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Scream 5. So, putting her in the lead role was something I was certainly excited about, but I did not expect to love this film as much as I did. Now look, the first 40 minutes of this film might turn off some viewers because it's just two people doing drugs and each other constantly. It's basically what it is. But after that point, the film turns into this chaotic and poignant and hilarious tale. Like, it's such an emotional film when you really think about it, but my God, it is freaking hilarious. It is such a funny movie. It's very emotional. You can really get behind the character of Anora. It is honestly a phenomenal performance from Mikey Madison. I hope she wins Best Actress for the Oscars this year. And easily, this is honestly my favorite film from Sean Baker so far. I love this film. I love the cinematography, the shot composition. I love every single thing about Anora. Everything about this film I absolutely loved. So for all those reasons alone, this is my number 1. And that is it, guys. Those are my top 20 favorite films of 2024. So what is your list? What are your favorite films of 2024? Comment down below and let me know. I'm willing to read your guys' list. Hit that subscribe button down below and that notification bell right next to it. Hit that thumbs up. Share this video. You guys know what to do. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Be on the lookout for my worst list. Peace.